Hey guys, Dementes here. In this video we are going to do a plastic surgery on our GX460, cut off the excess front bumper in order to achieve 5 inches of extra clearance in front and a better look. At the second half of the video we are going to also create a DIY shield, aluminum shield for your radiator void. So things you are going to need is going to be some kind of wet wipes. This laser level guy is really handy to follow the lines perfectly. Also the tape, preferably non-color of your vehicle, and this oscillatory cutting tool. For me it was this guy, and of course this band which protects the doors for a better look, and tape of course. So this cut is going to give us as you can see, the cut is going to be at 44 centimeters, which is about 17 inches of clearance from 12 inches of clearance. So a massive upgrade it's going to give us. As you can see, here is a very lower line, which is faint but still quite visible. So we are basically going to follow that, but go a little lower here by about 1 centimeters, and the laser lever is going to give us a nice and level look to better make the tapes go. First, of course, we have to clean it, and as you can see, mine had a lot of damage in front, so that's going to disappear as well for me, an extra bonus, so to say. As you can see, the first step is going to be to start applying tape. For my instance, I decided to make these lines as comfortable as possible, about like 10 inches in size, because it was easy to stick on and also not as large to be messy and hard to follow the straight line, for which laser, as you can see, really helped me out. I also then, after the first layer, started cutting with the oscillatory tool. Make sure that you are cutting below the tape, like you have to place the tape above the part that you are going to keep, because tape is going to protect it a little bit. And after we are done, we are going to of course give it this masking protective rubber line. And after we are done, we have to remove some other plastic parts. First of all, there will be connections with this wheel well. As you can see, hopefully these are the holes that they are connected with. Unfortunately, with non-removable pieces, so I had to cut them off, and then I had to use the zip ties to connect the end parts to the frame to prevent them going inside the wheel well. The next thing we have to do is to remove these brackets. One on each side are removable, but unfortunately the middle ones are not. But no worries, they are going to be easy to cut off, hopefully with some better tool, but I had to use this hand saw, and make sure that leave about 1 centimeters there, enough space for a drill hole to go through, because these brackets we are still going to use, but of course we are going to utilize much shorter pieces of those brackets and create our own holes. Before we go there, this is my shield. As you can see, this is the aluminum plate, which is unfortunately larger than eventually I found out that I needed. I will give you the end measurements when we get there, but the link to this piece is down below. You can maybe find something else as well. This is about 3 millimeters thick, I believe, and also it came with this nice bed liner textured sticker that is exactly the same width as this piece was. So once you cover it up, it looks quite nice and very rugged as well. But unfortunately, I had to cut it off when I started measuring. For my purposes, end to end the shield needed to be no longer than 73 centimeters, which is about 28.7 inches. And as you can see here, after I cut it off, I also started and made these holes, which are factory holes, of course, the lower holes, so to say. The middle one is unfortunately non-threaded, so there is going to go a simple plastic piece, so you can even like ditch and do not do anything with that. But also I had to measure another line, horizontal line, which is going to be a new thickness of our piece. It is 24 centimeters, the end result, I mean, which is about 9.4 inches, and this is the end result. Of course, I'm giving you this dimension, which again, the length was 28.7 inches, the length, and then the width was only 9.4 inches. But this was for me. You can still get the original one and make the measurements and cut them by your specific needs and sizes. You might want to have it a little thicker or maybe even thinner, I don't know. After we are done there, we had to create brackets. So in this case, we are going to again use the same material, aluminum. I can go with steel, but this was the piece that I had available in my house. Sorry for the mess, by the way. This is 5 centimeters in width, so quite thick as well, 3 millimeters in thickness. So it allows me to have a rigid, quite a stiff bracket that I have shaped in the slope that the vehicle's shield is going to be connecting. The slope is very hard to measure, and I had to do little fitting and measuring. Unfortunately, I haven't really recorded the specific degree, but if you place them in this situation, you can very easily bend them and bend them back. Just make sure not to do it for a long time. So what we have done here, I have only connected the 2 lower bolts in order to keep this main plate in place, in order to, well, first take a look how nice it will be looking, and also measure the places where we have to cut the plate in order to fix them to those homemade brackets. As you can see, the thickness or width of this 9.4 inches means that there is this gap up top which allows some air to flow in. That was deliberate for my case because I wanted some air. If you make it wider, then you won't have that much space, but you can also cover the whole way, which means that you won't get any gap there at all. Now I'm going to use the clay pieces and make them go through like this, protrude them from the holes. So once we create all these worm-like creations on all of our holes, we can very easily take our hands and push the plate, this shield, splash guard or whatever, up in order to contact the brackets, squish the clay, which for my case was an oil-based one, and due to it being an oil-based one, it means that it's going to create some kind of a stain on the shiny piece at the bottom, so you don't even need some kind of paint. Initially I wanted to paint the tips, but then I understood, oh wait a second, it's a shiny piece. So as you can see, you don't need any paint. The oiliness of the clay just marks the holes perfectly. In my case also I needed to remember which bracket was which, in order to then connect everything together, because I made these 3 holes on each of them brackets, just handmade they were, so they were unique for each of them. And after you make sure that you connect them correctly, this is the end result. Make sure to have a low profile bolts. I used the hex bolts in this case because I didn't really wanted that much of a protrusion from a lower part. But of course, as you can see here, inner is quite heavily bolted. 9 bolts, yeah, I think it's an overkill, but still, and the thickness is quite an overkill as well. 3 millimeters is quite a lot, but at the end I'm quite happy with this result, and I'm now quite feeling safe. I'm quite safe as well, knowing that even though I have this cut, there is no void between the bumper and the radiator, where some debris, branches, and stones can fly in, and I have maybe even better protection than OEM had. That was it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions regarding some measurements or process, please give them down below. Have a nice day and see you next time.